You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
Today we continue the healing series with negativity. That's the episode today. We're going to talk about all this negativity around us and how we can get rid of it. Just listen. Thanks again for tuning in to the Mike's Opinion podcast. I am Mike, and that's right. Today, we continue the healing series and the H.E.A.L.I.N.G. We're talking about the N, negativity today. And I included that because it's out there. Negativity is rampant everywhere. It's everywhere. And you know it and I know it. We see it on the TV, we hear it, on the radio and in broadcast all over the place. We experience it when we go out into the world, into the workplace, as if you're still working during this pandemic in 2020, right? So negativity, and more importantly, how can we get rid of or fight it with positivity? But the negativity is truly out there. And I say this in every episode during this healing series for those who may just have happened upon this particular episode. This is the 6th episode in a 7-episode series. Healing is an acronym. Healing stands for hate, emotion, anger, love, involvement, negativity, and giving. I'm doing an episode for each one of those words, and the whole point is the acronym healing. Healing us as a people, healing us as a species, healing our planet, healing from all of the horrible things that we do to each other as human beings. As you know, I want to bring light. I want to spread love. I want to send out positivity to the world. That's the whole point of my podcast. Okay, let's be clear. That's all I want to do. Now, you may not agree with some of my opinions, and this is why I didn't try to go for some clever name. I just simply named this what this is. This is Mike's Opinion, and I'm Mike. And that's, I have a unique opinion, but isn't everybody's opinion unique? We all have opinion, but there are generalities amongst opinions, and usually I'm outside of those generalities. But how you doing? I hope you're doing all right. Today I live in Texas, and today the Texas governor just made it mandatory for everybody to wear masks in public, and I don't agree with it. And I know some people are like, well, you're spreading the virus. No, I'm not. If we social distancing, what do I need a mask for? If I'm staying 6 feet away from you, doesn't make any sense to me. Plus, I like the option. Okay? I don't want to be forced to do anything. But of course, I'm not trying to get caught up or fined. And the Texas governor said that nobody would go to jail for it, but you would be fined if you didn't rock your face mask. And look, I get it. I'm not trying to spread no diseases, but they were opening bars, opening gyms. They were almost at 100% capacity, and face mask or not, you got that many people breathing recirculated air. Guess what's going to happen? Spread a disease. And that's why there's pandemic part 2, COVID-19 part 2, SARS-2 part 2, coronavirus part 2, the resurge is in full effect as we go into the July 4th weekend, which is tomorrow. Okay. So, and again, you guess people are going to be gathering. And I read today that they're going to have a big, huge fireworks show at Mount Rushmore, which I recently learned was built on sacred tribal land. Go figure. And the governor of that state, I believe it's North Dakota. It's a shame. I should know that, right? That they are not enforcing face mask or social distancing. Okay. Did you hear what I just said? For the 4th of July celebration, which I think they're doing on Friday, the 3rd of July, the governor stated that she is not enforcing social distancing or mask wearing. Yet in the state of Texas, you gotta wear a mask, else we're gonna hit you with a $200-300 fine. So what do you think about that? Because I think it's cray. Yeah, and it is South Dakota, by the way. I just looked it up. So that's a thing. That's a thing that's going on, right now. And there's so much negativity. So much negativity going on in the world right now. But I hope you all right. I hope you safe. I hope you virus free. I hope you coping in a competent, effective fashion. And, I hope you're getting along. But I hope my podcast as a whole helps you out. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be sharing in upcoming episodes. Just trying to help humanity, y'all. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. But this negativity episode I felt was important because it has to be addressed just from a zoom out. We look at the tree, but I want to zoom out and look at the forest and just negativity as a whole and how it affects all of us. Negative thoughts, negative feelings, ingesting negative things, negative media, negative movies, negative songs. And when I was doing my research for this episode, I stumbled across something that's called negative bias. Have you heard of this? Like, this is a thing. Negativity bias, also known as the negativity effect, is the notion that even when of equal intensity, things of a more negative nature, such as unpleasant thoughts, emotions, or social interactions, have a greater effect on one's psychological state and processes than neutral or positive things. We're drawn to the negative as humans, according to the research. And I did quite a bit of research for this negativity episode because I always try to provide helpful and useful information, and I want to educate myself before I speak. And generally speaking, we all know what negativity is, right? There's negative and positive. Okay. Just like up and down. It's the negative is the positive of, the opposite of positive. Negative is the opposite of positive. So, but I dug in, and this negativity bias is a thing. Like, say, for instance, you go to a job interview, right? And the interview grows great. And, they think you're great, but they mention some constructive criticism and things that you might want to look upon and change. We will forego and not concentrate on all the positive things. We will concentrate on the negative things. And this is commonplace in relationships and varying degrees of social interactions. So this is the thing. So if you've listened to any of my other episodes, I've asked the question, what's wrong with humans? I think there might be something fundamentally wrong with us. So what draws us out of all the positivity? What draws us to the negative? Right? Now, I am entertained by edutainment. I first heard that term by KRS-One from BDP, Boogie Down Productions. I'm from New York, raised in, hip hop head, born and raised in Harlem in the South Bronx in New York City. You know what I'm saying? And, edutainment, which is a combination of education and entertainment. So I like documentaries. I like things that educate me and entertain me simultaneously. Things that educate me and entertain me simultaneously. That's what I enjoy. And a lot of people I know, including, a lot of people close to me and a lot of people around me, they like to shoot 'em up, bang, bang, bloody, gory horror movies, and I watch them. Some of my family, they love the Marvel universe, even some of the DC universe with all the death and destruction. And that don't do nothing for me. And, I was talking to my wife and I was, telling her one of the reasons why, like these joints with a lot of guns and stabbings and shootings. I was in them streets in Harlem during the 70s and 80s. I seen it up close in my face. Death, murder, bat beatdowns, stabbings. Give you a quick story. Happened in my life. 11th grade. And, I graduated early. I skipped from 3rd to 5th grade in parochial school, but, I'm in 11th grade. I think I'm 14, 15, something like that. And I lived in the projects in Harlem. I'm coming out the building, right? Early morning, on my way to school. And the school I went to, I had to wear a suit and tie. And, that caused problems in the project. But anyway, that's for another story. But, and I come out the elevator. There's a foyer with an intercom so you can get in the building, right? I come out the door and then there's another door and there's a 3-step stoop. And then I go to 1 step, 2 step. I got 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot still on one of the 3 steps, and bam, somebody comes down from the roof and splats. And I don't want to get too gory, but they splat stuff all over me. Right. At that point in my life, I was so accustomed to seeing stuff like that. And while it was, though, surprising, I was like, damn, I'm going to be late for school because I got to go upstairs and change. And this lady, I'm not going to say her name, she lived on the 1st floor. She was always in the window watching the comings and goings. You got those, just like the news reporters of the building or the projects, because the projects are like little cities, okay? The one with my building would fill my whole subdivision where I live right now, which is far more spread out. But anyway, so I grew up watching people get shot and stabbed and beat down and mad, drama, arguments and fights. So for me, I ain't trying to see that for entertainment because I know what it looks like for real. And this is what's so funny and contradictory to me about our society. Not even just America, around the world. Because a lot of these, movies and video games and stuff like that are worldwide, right? They're released worldwide and consumed worldwide. Is how we will watch and applaud and be entertained by criminal activity or murder, strangulation, all these horrible things, right? We will pay to see these things depicted in high definition, in explicit detail. But yet, if it's on our block, if it's in our hood, if we know somebody that goes through it, we're traumatized. It's horrible, right? But we'll watch the same exact thing for entertainment. The same exact thing for entertainment. Makes no sense to me. But like I said, I'm different. But there are many out there like me. I know. To me, that's negativity. You watching this negativity. You're watching it. You're ingesting it. And you think it doesn't affect you. But it does. So I like watching, Blue Planet. I like watching UFO documentaries. I got a series that's going to come up on UFOs, which I have seen personally. Anyway, another podcast. But, I like watching, Mythbusters. I like watching things that entertain me, that educate me at the same time, that expand my personal knowledge base, and I always have. And I think, what I just explained is part of the reason why. Another reason is I'm just anti-violence. I realized early on that it's necessary. Confrontation is necessary sometimes, and you have to defend yourself. And I don't care who you are, a carnivore, a vegetarian or vegan, you got to kill to eat on planet Earth. Plants are alive. It's been proven. They are alive. Plants are. So I don't care if you're killing a plant, if you're killing a fish, if you're killing an animal. On planet Earth, you must kill to eat. Now, many of us, most of us have never killed a thing in our life. Maybe a bug here too, a pest or something. But we have these murdered meats, murdered animal meat, just plainly available, butchered and wrapped, waiting for our consumption. And for most of us, we don't correlate the murder. Now, those that lived on farms or, old school, that had to go wring that chicken neck or slaughter that pig to get them ribs or that ham, you know what I'm saying? Or kill that cow to get them steaks. They realize what it is. You know what I'm saying? And, I've been a vegan. Currently, I'm a carnivore, so I can't front. I eat meat and give me a juicy steak, cheeseburger, that bone-in ribeye, that T-bone, that filet, filet mignon, juicy. And I will mess up some chicken, tear it up. So it's just life on planet Earth. You got to kill to eat. So I understand the necessity. I don't agree with it. I wish we lived on a different planet that sustenance came from another source. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't even know all the questions, but I know how I feel about certain things. And I'm happy you allow me to share my opinion with you. So the violence and negativity that we're drawn to, and with the advent of these very detailed, graphic and gory video games, we have immersed ourselves and saturated ourselves with violence. Think about the news for a second. Your local news, which I don't know how you get it now. We're moving more and more to these mobile devices, tablets, and more prominently phones. Phones are our everything. They are truly incorporated into us. They are an extension of us now. Another podcast. I won't go too deep into that right now. But you think about the news, right? They have a system. Now, the lead story, they all have a lead. Breaking news is just regular now. It's not really breaking news. It's what's first. But they all like to go, breaking news. And it's typically death or murder, right? Lately, of course, it's been the coronavirus, the pandemic. How many deaths? How many people are infected? Okay, especially with this second round, how there's a new uptick and, the hospital beds are running out, the intensive cares are filling up, and it's all negative. The news will fill you with negativity. Then they'll boom, go to commercial. And they sell you pharmaceuticals that will clearly, as they put it, be effective towards your depression. I should probably do a count, because between pharmaceuticals, feel-good products, and cars, okay, they sell you the pharmaceuticals that's going to make you feel better after they've depressed the hell out of you. Then feel-good products. And, when I say feel-good products, usually it's some kind of food, some potato chips or some beer, something like that you need to make you feel good. Or cars, because cars mean escape. And lately, the latest ads I've been seeing are, let's travel. Let's get away. News, bad news, murder, sickness, death, sell you products. More news, death, sad news, bad news, sell you products. Have you peeped that? Is your third eye open? Is your mind open? Do you see the programming? Television program. And now, of course, it's all streaming, right? I'm old school, so I know network TV. Plus, I cut the cord a long time ago. So I have a roof antenna in my house, and I distributed it to all the TVs in my house. So I get network TV for free. I get all the basic networks for free in HD because no more analog antennas, right? It's all clear, crystal clear HD. And then, of course, I have the streaming services and other stuff. But the point is, it's negative daily. Negativity is being ingested daily. And if you're not consciously aware of it, it can have horrible long-term effects on you. And I once again, doing the research, I've seen this. It's a fact how this can cause chronic conditions in people. And you combine that with our diet, and it's all connected. It's all connected to keep us, the labor force, docile enough, sluggish enough to go punch that 9 to 5 so we can make the rich richer. And that's what it really is. In my opinion, capitalism is urged, but who really benefits, right? You got a yacht, you got a private jet, you got a private island. I don't. Do you even have more than one residence? How many cars you have? How much savings you got in the bank? Huh? Yeah. Well, I know we can shut it all down. Again, that's another podcast. Right now, today, we are talking about the negativity, and I just wanted to give these examples of some of the negativity. Now, as of late, most recently, we've seen demonstrations. We've seen protests. We've seen riots. We've seen looting and destruction of property. And go back to some previous episodes because I am not going to condemn any of it. So if you're looking for condemnation for any of that here, I am a black man. You're not going to find it here. If anything, I sympathize. Now, I have not personally gone out there and destroyed any property or even protested or marched. But I understand. And I feel y'all that are out there doing it. Okay? And there are many examples why a lot of this is justified. One of it is we don't own any of it. We being black people. So tearing stuff down, burning stuff down is just a way for some people who otherwise do not have a way to express themselves to let out that anger. Okay? But it's being broadcast to us. The negativity is being elaborated on and reported in such detailed fashion. And I dare say even glorified and glamorized. How does that affect us? Everybody's on edge. A lot of people consuming over-caffeinated energy drinks. Where are we going? As a human race, as a species, where are we going? This integration of electronic devices and overpopulation. I mean, where are we headed? And these people that we seemingly put in charge, which I don't think this, it's the lesser of two evils usually. I mean, do we really have a choice? Are any noble, honest, true, kind people leading us? If you think of the majority, the major first world countries, or even second world countries, these leaders. I read today that the leader of Russia, we all know who that is, right? Starts with a P, has set himself up, and it looks like he's going to successfully be able to lead, and I say that in quote unquote quotation marks, my fingers are up, lead until 2036 for another 15 plus years. Yeah. I think our president would like to do the same thing here in the United States. No way in hell he's going to pull that off unless there are circumstances that deny us an electoral process, and would have to be something dire. Right? So look out. You know, I'm not a complete conspiracy theorist, but you know, if you're thinking like a chess player, like I do play chess, you think ahead, you say, okay, you throw a pandemic out there. You throw civil unrest out there. What's next? There are anticipated horrible weather. The hurricane season is very active. It's already set records and it's just getting started. Some people say, and in fact, it's been proven, weather can be at the very least manipulated and maybe even controlled. So if you throw pandemic, civil unrest, horrible weather, what's next? It frightens me to even think like that, to even have to ask that question. If there's a sinister plot against us. But as always, you know, I deviate and digress and I go on tangents. And if you listen to any of the 20 plus episodes that I've had, and I'm just getting started, I think I'm less than 3 or 4 months old right now, this podcast of mine. So what's next? What's coming? Brace yourself. There's undisputable proof. People knew before those planes hit September 11th, 2001. Again, another podcast. Negativity in our life is real and it exists. And I dare say we are barraged and inundated with it on a daily. Now, in every episode during this healing series, I always give the definition of the word. Okay. And negativity, which of course root word is negative, but negativity is the expression of criticism of or pessimism about something. The expression of criticism of or pessimism about something. And I always read the example sentence. He was taken aback by the negativity of the press. And I mentioned this in my last episode, the involvement episode. So this definition, if you search the word negativity in this particular most popular search engine, whose name has become synonymous with the word search, this is what comes up. And I just find it odd again that they mention the negativity of the press. He was taken aback by the negativity of the press. So that's the basic definition of negativity. I didn't think I needed to really lend too many more definitions, but I did want to talk about something I mentioned a little earlier, the negativity bias, and also known as the negativity effect. And, you know, I did read basically what that is. It's a notion that even when something of equal, like I said, you get a dose of something positive and a dose of something negative, you're going to concentrate on the negative. You're going to focus on negative. That's just human nature, apparently. Negative attitudes and feelings of helplessness and hopelessness can create chronic stress. And chronic stress upsets the body's hormonal balance. It depletes the brain chemicals required for happiness and damages the immune system. Chronic stress can actually decrease our lifespan. So, we're getting daily doses of negativity. If you watch the news, even if you don't watch the news, you may get it secondhand from somebody that watched the news and will tell you that story. We see the road rage out there. We see attitude when we go to the grocery store or to some food place. You know, the negativity is out there. Everybody's pissed. Everybody's sad. Everybody's depressed. And I don't know, or maybe I don't want to know how many people are on these powerful brain altering pharmaceuticals and dependent upon them to function. Right? So, and if you're one of them, trust me, I'm not condemning you. You do you. You do what you got to do to survive. But I am anti-pharmaceutical. Fortunately, like I said, I'm over 50. I am not on a single pharmaceutical. I haven't even taken a pain reliever, an aspirin or nothing. And I don't know how long. I don't get headaches. I try to stay positive. I don't work out as much as I should. But I've been blessed with good health and a sound mind. And I think part of that comes from my basic happiness. I've been a happy person my whole life. I don't let negativity in any form, get the best of me. I refuse to do that. So I think I've qualified, verified, validated that negativity is a thing. And I think we've all known that, right? So let's concentrate on how to combat that, because that's the whole point of this episode, this series, and this podcast. So how do we get rid of negative energy and become positive? I'm going to tell you 7 things that I know can help you. Okay. The first thing is to be grateful for everything. We get overwhelmed with the stresses of our daily lives, the challenges, the drama, the negativity. It's easy to get engulfed. And like I said, from what I've researched, it's human nature. So we have to consciously combat that. And if you step back and don't think about what you don't have, and think about what you do have. And the first step in that, and I know this is going to sound crazy and simple, is the fact that you could do this. Breathe in, breathe out, that you're breathing. Now, if you listen to this in intensive care, and you may not be conscious, I don't know, but if you're in the hospital is what I'm saying. If you're laid up, if you're homeless, if you rich, if you got trauma, if you got kids getting on your nerves, if you got, the coronavirus, if you got a situation where you don't know where your next meal is coming from, no matter who you are, you can be grateful for that you are alive, that you are breathing and alive. You can literally be grateful for everything. When life is all about us, it's easy to believe that we deserve what we have. But the truth is, we're not promised tomorrow, and we're not owed nothing. When our mothers birthed us, we didn't come out being owed anything. So be grateful for what you have. That's the first thing I would suggest you do. It can really make you feel better. Like, I'm happy my child got all his limbs, all his appendages, all his 10 fingers and toes. I'm happy I got 2 working eyes, that I can walk, that both of my legs work. Or maybe that I was fortunate enough to get a prosthetic leg and I can now stand back up, that I can drink a glass of water, that there's still clean water available. So many things to be grateful for, y'all. So many things that we should be thankful and grateful for. And if you believe in Allah, Jesus, Jehovah, Buddha, you can give them thanks if you think that entity gave it to you. Okay? If you feel that you need to thank somebody or some entity for the things you have. And that's fine, as long as you are grateful for what you have. Number 2, another way to get rid of negative energy and become more positive is to laugh more, especially at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. You ever heard that? Laughter can uplift you, can make you feel better. Something that'll truly make you laugh. It's paramount. I think in every day it's necessary to find something, get a joke app, look up jokes, bookmark a joke site, call that friend that is going to make you laugh. You know what I'm saying? If you got a baby or a child, that laughter, make them laugh. Cause every time my son laughs, it makes me laugh. And my daughter got her own kids. And when she laughs, it still makes me laugh. And God knows I miss my grandmother's laugh. It was infectious. Oh man, the way she laughed. Oh, I miss that woman. God rest her soul. My Nana. But laughter. Laugh at yourself. Laugh Find a source of daily laughter. Make yourself laugh. And I know it's hard to do in these trying times, to stay positive and to shun and reflect and combat this negativity away from us, to get it off of us, to take a moment and to laugh. You say, Mike, how can I laugh right now? There's a pandemic going on. I don't know if the protesters going to come march through my neighborhood. I don't know if the road rage dude, if I cut somebody off, they're going to shoot me. All of these things, right? How can I find laughter when you must make a conscious effort to smile and laugh and just peel all that away for a minute. Just let it just bounce off of you. Just put it aside. Let it go. Even if it's for 5 minutes. Find your happiness, find your happy place and embrace it. Waddle in it. And, occupy it. Occupy that happy space. Take that on a daily. All right. Number 3. And this is big. And it goes to my involvement episode as well, is helping others. How do you feel when you help somebody? Whether somebody fell down and, you helped them up, or, you helped somebody carry something that was heavy, or help somebody reach something from a high place, or wrote something that helped somebody, but helping others makes us feel better about ourselves. Help people, help others from the mundane, the smallest thing to maybe even something gigantic. Like I said in the I involvement, the letter I involvement episode, which was right prior to this, get involved. Volunteer somewhere or sign up, become part of a helpful organization. And there are many groups and organizations out there, and of course, race is at the forefront. Social injustice, racial injustice is at the forefront in our country's consciousness right now. But, help somebody. Let's affect the world positively. Let's bring light and love. Let's not get devoured and drowned by this negativeness, because at the end of the day, the common denominator, the very basic, fundamental, foundational crisis, in my opinion, is good versus evil. I think it boils down to good versus evil, to love versus hate, and as human beings, most of us control ourselves and are mostly good, but we all have that, at least a touch, right? I often think of Mahatma Gandhi, and of course, I don't know him, never met him, read a couple of things of his, but to be consistently peaceful. Martin Luther King recently, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, civil rights genius, in my opinion, wasn't perfect. And it's been recently revealed. But even though he was human and his humanness has come to light, he was nonviolent and peaceful, and he wanted peace. And if you listen to any one of his many wonderful speeches, he encouraged us to love each other, to embrace each other, to love our differences, to move forward towards a better humanity, and if you believe in the Quran, the H.E.A.L.I.N.G, the Bible, the Vedic scriptures, what's the other ones? The stone tablets. I can't think of the name of them right now, but all of these ancient writings, right? No matter what history you think, if we're 4 billion years old or 2,000 years old or however long humanity's been around, or the devil and God, good versus evil, You know within yourself when you've gotten mad or you had bad thoughts, like horrible thoughts, right? Usually they're fleeting or we suppress them and we go on with our lives. But negativity versus positivity, negative versus positive. I would like us to venture into positive space as a species. Okay. The fourth thing that we can do to get rid of negative energy and become positive is to change your thinking. And that's a tough one. You ever try to change somebody's mind? Especially if it's something, fundamental they believe. I do have an episode coming up that I've been working on. And it's why do you believe what you believe? And there's several reasons for that. I'm not going to delve too deep into that, but belief, changing your thinking. And that's really what I'm trying to get you to do right now. I'm trying to make you identify the negative influences in your life and combat them consciously, to make a conscious effort to change your mind, to change your thinking. Now, I've raised one successful child. She has a graduate degree. She's successful in her life. She's happy in her life, and I'm proud of that. I'm raising another one, round 2, marriage 2, and she had never had any children, so we have one. Maybe more, I don't know. But, I watch my young son and I change his mind, because that's what raising a child is, right? They may have a wrong way of thinking, or a way of thinking that you just don't agree with, and you try to influence them. For me, I try to be, as liberal as possible. Let him be as independent and form himself and just help mold him. But I'm molding him into a courageous man, an honorable man, a gentle man, a kind man, a sensitive man, an empathetic man, a good man. Because that's who his father tries to be. I try to be a good man. I've lived a good life, but you can't please all the people all the time. Some people are not pleasable. But if you try to change your mind about the negative ways you think, and only you know what those are to you, you may say something negative that is negative, and you need to change the way you say that to different people in your life. You may change, or you may need to change the way you think about a certain race of people. Maybe all your life, society, the people that raised you, have told you that these type of people were bad people. But they're not. Maybe you need to change your way of thinking. For those of you who had listened to me, I'm an advocate for pets. I've had pets all my life. I love pets. Right now, one of my cats is in the process of dying, and it's breaking my heart. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. But I know a lot of people that don't like cats. Give them a chance. Change your thinking. Cats are lovely creatures. They're loving and affectionate. They're way different than dogs. Okay. Yes. But, animals. Change your thinking. Volunteer at a pet shelter. Start there. Okay. Or just take some time and go bird watching, or squirrel watching, or anything that may be in your neighborhood. If you live in the inner city, there's some pigeons. Just sit down and watch them. You will find that they have personalities and different behaviors. Change your thinking to more positive thinking. Okay? That is something else, and yet another step that we can take to get rid of negative energy and become more positive. Okay? The fifth thing that you can do to get rid of negative energy and become more positive is to surround yourself with positive people. Can't tell you how important this is. Very important. Okay. We all know about peer pressure. It never ends. Okay. And when I say peers, that can include anybody you associate with regularly, whether it's coworkers, friends, family, neighbors, anybody. If they're not positive, find a way to either extremely limit your contact and interaction or get rid of them completely. When I was doing research and I came to that particular point about surrounding yourself with positive people, I came across something I had forgotten about. I had read about this years ago, but you ever heard of energy vampires? Do you know what an energy vampire is? Basically, it's just some person that affects you negatively, and when you finish with them, you feel drained, like they suck the life right out of you. They're exhausting to work with, to deal with, to be around. They suck the life out you, and it affects you negatively. Avoid those people. Avoid them. Because they drain you. They drain you. Surround yourself with people that smile a lot, that are happy. And now, you heard this saying, ignorance is bliss. You know, it may be somebody you may not think so highly of from an intelligence standpoint, but they're always happy. Right? You ever met somebody that's always happy? I'm one of those people. I'm happy the majority of the time. You know, like I said, right now I'm watching a cat that I've had for 14, 15 years decline. I have 2 cats and a dog, and it's breaking my heart. So I'm trying to stay positive, you know, but watching somebody or some pet or animal that you love that's been with you for a considerable amount of time die, it's sad. And if you have a heart, if you're not afraid to feel, and I'm all man, I'm an alpha male, I dare say, I'm a man's man. But I'm not scared to, I'm not afraid to feel. So it's tough right now for me in that aspect. The positive aspect of that is that he will no longer be suffering, which this happened rapidly. So he's not really been suffering for any length of time. He doesn't seem to be in a great deal of pain, right now, but he's definitely declining and quickly. So the next day or two, if he doesn't pass naturally on his own, I will have to put him down, sadly, or try to. I think he's beyond repair. So, surrounding yourself with positive people is a step you can do. Seek them out. We all know some type of positive people. At least I hope you do. Know somebody that's upbeat and has a positive outlook on life. And if you don't know anybody, I volunteer. Let's be friends. Shoot me an email and, we can begin some type of dialogue, and, hopefully I can bring some kind of happiness, If you don't want to go that far, just listen to the podcast. Hopefully some of my previous episodes will have made you laugh. This healing series, all these episodes, not so funny. Some serious stuff that I'm trying to address. Excuse me. So number 6 is get into action. What does that mean? Get into action. For me, that means movement, exercise. And I know a lot of people ain't trying to hear that. Okay. Especially consistently. If you make it a part of your daily life from 4 to 6 days a week, I know it can be very effective. When you are healthy, you're happier. You feel good. And I can attest to the fact that merely walking for 30 minutes a day can help you. You can start there. If you're unable to walk, put your arms up in the air. Do some arm ups. Just something. But move consciously. Move for betterment of your health and for happiness. Action. Now, we can't sign up for any sports leagues in our neighborhood right now because of this pandemic. So you might have to walk around your neighborhood with a mask on. But get one of those step counters. Most phones have them. It's amusing. See how many steps you walked in a day. Right? And I know we have all kinds of lives going on. You may not have time. Make time. Find time. Find time. Can you find 15 minutes, 30 minutes to do something actionable, to do some type of movement? There's yoga. Meditation is not movement, but it's mental movement, right? Mental peace. Bringing your mind to stillness purposefully. Okay? Lastly, the number 7 thing out of the 7 ways that I suggest that you can help to get rid of negative energy and become positive is to take full responsibility and not be a victim. That sounds harsh, I think. Right? Don't be a victim. We're all victims in some sense. Because from we're born, we didn't ask to be here. We've been birthed into victimness, if that's a word. Because we didn't ask to be here. But we're here. So, being a responsible person. Now, I've received some feedback, I won't say mostly, but a lot of trolls, a lot of people that disagree with some of the things that I've said, and you have the right to disagree with me. But I take responsibility for the things I do and the things that I say. I'm responsible for my triumphs and my tragedies, for my successes and my failures. I own those things. And when you take full responsibility for yourself, you have to acknowledge what you're putting out into the world. Are you a negative person? Are you a positive person? Are you the road rager? If somebody cuts you off, you flip? You got a short fuse? Is that because you don't feel well? Is that because you're drinking too much caffeine? Is that because you're an angry person? But once you take responsibility for something and own it, because to take responsibility, you have to first acknowledge it, right? And once you acknowledge it, then you process it and you own it. You feel good about that, right? Remember being a kid and you spilled something and, your mother or father or whoever's raising you didn't see it. And, here they come and then you see it and you say, did you do that? No, I didn't do that. When they finally get you to admit it, you felt better, right? Okay, I did it. I felt better. If you ever watched that show, First 48, it was a show, and it was wasn't documentary. It was more, I guess, reality TV, but they would show a lot of interrogations where people that have supposedly committed a crime would be interrogated. And remarkably, a lot of these people would confess. The police had no real evidence, but they would trick these people into confessing. And you could always see the relief on the criminal's face. Like I said, I watch a lot of edutainment. To me, that was educational and entertaining. As a black man, it was educational on what not to do if I find myself in a small, tiny interrogation room with 2 police officers playing good cop, bad cop. And, these criminals would, You could see the relief, their body language. Some people would just say it or breathe, exhale out loud. Owning something and taking responsibility can be very helpful in making you a happier person. So I want to recap those 7 suggestions on how to get rid of negative energy and become more positive. Okay. Number 1, be grateful for everything. Number 2, laugh. Laugh more, especially at yourself. Number 3, help others. Help other people. Number 4, change your mind. Change the way you think about things. Number 5, surround yourself with positive people. Number 6, get into action. Move around. Exercise. Okay? It'll help. And number 7, what I just said, take full responsibility for you and your actions. Okay? It's very important. I want to read one more thing about the negative bias. The negativity bias is our tendency not only to register negative stimuli more readily, but also to dwell on these events, also known as positive negative asymmetry. This negativity bias means that we feel the sting of a rebuke more powerfully than we feel the joy of praise. Change your mind on that. Change the way you think about that. Focus on the good when and where you can. It's so important, y'all. It's so very important. I'm going through my notes right here, and there's other things that I have that I don't think I want to include today. But hopefully I have helped and contributed positively to you. Okay, because this negativity is rampant and it's everywhere, and we have to fight back. You have to fight for your positivity. Don't wallow in the negativity. Don't let negativity control you or, drown you. Okay? Now, I'm not saying what that song used to say, the one that says, don't worry, be happy, because I'm not telling you to shun any of your responsibilities and just go around giddy all day while there's tragedy all around us. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying try to add more happiness in your life. Let's pound that negativity out. Get rid of it. Okay? Let's get rid of the negativity in our lives. I hope you're okay. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Mike, and this has been the Mike's Opinion Podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.